I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all I can preaching His word and truth and sincerity and in faith. It's the brother Yeshaya, and I just want to do a quick lesson. Well, about a interaction I had yesterday while I was doing Uber, right, with this Judite woman, which appeared to look like a Judite woman, right. While I was driving on the highway, and I was driving in the in the right lane, the lane all the way to the right, as people will refer to as the slow lane, right? And the speed limit was about 65, right? And I was going about 60 miles per hour. So then the Judite woman, she goes, "Oh, you have to get over on the other lane. You got to get in the other lane, or else you're gonna be stuck behind these cars all day." Right? And the way she said it, and it wasn't like I was driving slow or anything. If I'm driving 60 and it's 65, that's not considered driving slow, right? And it wasn't like we were going to be on the highway for 20, 30 miles. We only had like about 2 miles left on the highway. So it wasn't like we was going to be on the highway forever, right? But just the way she said it, right, kind of offended me. So I told her, like, look, you shouldn't be telling me what lane. You shouldn't be telling me what lane I should be in, right? And I basically told her, trying to be funny. I told her, like, look, when you're in your car, you could drive in whatever lane you want to drive in. We in my car, I'm gonna drive in the lane that I choose to, right? Which a lot of people, right, a lot of women, right, they're very arrogant, right? They're very prideful, right? They think they can go around telling grown men what to do with no repercussions, right? Because they're very coddled, they're very protected in this society. So they feel in their mind they can do no wrong, right? They can say whatever they want to anybody, right? They have no respect, really, right? And this ain't even a thing about me, bashing women, but this is just the truth. These are the facts, right? A lot of women, they arrogant, right? They think that they can do no wrong. They think they could go around talking to people however they want. What keeps, which a lot of people oftentimes talk about this, what keeps people in line? Fear keeps people in line. Fear of consequences. Like they say, like when two men interact, there's always the threat of violence. You don't want to talk to another man in any which way, because that man might put hands on you. It might be an altercation, right? It might be a fight might break out. So you have to talk to each individual man with respect, and every man knows this, right? Only time a man will, for the most part, will disrespect another man is if he believes that he can beat that man in a fight, right? But even within that, most men, like, just because you think you can beat somebody, you don't want to get into a fight just for no reason, unless you're just unless you're just a demon, right? But the point being, men always have that fear of conflict, right? If I disrespect this man, a fight might break out, and I'm not trying to do all that. That's why men are more respectful than women. Now, women, however they talk to you, you can't do nothing to them, right? They're always, if you raise your voice at them, they'll play the victim, right? If you get into a physical altercation with them, they'll call the police and you go into jail, right? No matter whose fault it is, no matter who did what, the man is always going to jail, right? He's always going to be looked at as the bad guy, right? So because of this, they have absolutely no fear of consequence, right? So they go around doing whatever they want to do, saying whatever they want to say, right? You'll see certain videos, these women assaulting Uber drivers, right, thinking they're not gonna face no consequences. Which a lot of times that I've seen that, a lot of men, they'll show restraint, right? Thinking, okay, this is a woman, I can't do too much. Like, listen, me, I'm gonna keep it 100, right? If you put your hands on me, listen, all bets are off, right? Every individual has a right to protect and defend themselves, right? I don't know what each I don't know what each person is capable of, right? You don't know what that person's intent is, right? They might hit you with their hands at one point, and next time they might pull out a weapon out of nowhere. So you don't know what their intent is. You gotta handle, if the person's being a threat to you, you gotta handle that person as quickly and swiftly as possible, right? I'm not gonna hold back, right? But a lot of these women, they think there's no consequences to their actions. That's why they go around talking to people how they want, doing whatever they want, right? Calling people out their names and different things of that nature, just completely disrespectful, right? So when I told her what I said, I was like, look, you shouldn't tell me which lane to drive in, right? You're not in charge here, right? I'm in charge. This is my car. I'm doing you a service and you're paying for that service. But just because you're paying for that service, that don't make you automatically my boss somehow, right? I'm not gonna you don't say jump and I say how high. That's not how this works, right? A lot of women are entitled, right? They entitled to think that the world revolves around them. They entitled to think that every random man they meet, they can somehow be their boss, right? It doesn't work that way. And let me say this: each situation that I ever had where somebody was being rude, which I'm not gonna say each, but the vast majority, I had the situations I had when somebody was being rude, it was always a woman, right? Because they don't feel no consequences, right? So when I told her what I told her, I was like, look, you can't tell me what lane to drive in, right? When you're in your car, you can drive in whatever lane you want to drive in. Here it is, somebody don't have a car, right? But then they telling you what to do with your car. Don't make no sense, right? But yeah, as soon as I said that, she automatically started playing the victim. She was like, you kind of, she was like, you kind of aggressive. You ain't have to say it like that. She was like, that's kind of rude. I was like, you were being rude. She was like, well, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm like, how you gonna start off, right? How you going, like Jake say, don't start nothing, ain't gonna be nothing. How you gonna start off by being rude to me for absolutely no reason, right? And expect, right, for me to return in a polite way, which I wasn't, trying to necessarily be rude to her, but I was trying to get the point across, right? You can't talk to people however you want. You're not my boss, right? You're just, just sit back and enjoy the ride. You don't get on a bus, right, and tell the bus driver which lane he should drive in. They try to tell you how fast you should drive, try to tell you what to play on the radio. This doesn't make you my boss. But yeah, the point being is she started playing the victim. She said you being a male driver, you being kind of aggressive. So she basically tried to play the victim card, try to act like I was being aggressive and threatening. She tried to make it seem like I was making her uncomfortable with the comments that I make. She said, you being a man, you being kind of aggressive. So I told her, like, what? Only women are allowed to be rude. She was like, oh, I'm not saying that. But basically the point being is that the woman was out of order, right? Then I put her in order. Then she tried to play the victim, but at the end, right, when she was leaving, she was very polite. She told me thank you, and she told me have a nice day, right? Which you learn that, right? A lot of women, right, they'll be out of order, but when you put them in their place, right, then they learn their place, right? And you have to do it in a firm manner, right? That's why I said it the way I said it, right? I didn't beat around the bush, right? I wasn't, trying to be a pushover or anything of that nature. They're just like children, right? If you let them, they're gonna walk all over you. But once you put them in their place, then they understood their place, right? At the end, when she was leaving, she was like, okay, this is a grown man, right? I can't be talking to him any type of way. I have to treat this man with respect, right? So that was the point of, the whole interaction, right? Which I got a few precepts, Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters are edified, right? So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Yeah, a lot of our women, the women, our women here, especially here in Babylon, right? They're at ease, right? They're very comfortable here. Society caters to them, right? They tell them that they can do whatever they want, right? Society doesn't judge them, right? A lot of these women are very promiscuous, right? The society doesn't judge them. A lot of these women are very masculine. Society doesn't judge them. A lot of these women just straight up reprobates, straight up demonic, and straight up wicked. But society tells them that they can do no wrong, right? Whatever situation that goes down, right? They're always coddled. Let's say a woman commits a crime and a man commits that same crime. The man is gonna get way more time than the woman gets, right? If a cop pulls a woman over, for the most part, they're treated more kindly, right? They're treated more softly, right? If you a dude, a man and you do something wrong, the cops ready to, put you to death, right? But a woman, they're all nice to her, right? And like the point I made, a woman oftentimes gets less jail time for the exact same crime, right? They're looked at as this soft, delicate woman that could do no wrong, right? So a lot of our women are very at ease in this society, which I had the definition for that word at ease, right? Which I got it pulled up on my phone. So it says, I believe it's the Hebrew word sha'anan, right? And it says at ease, quiet, secure. Yeah, they have a lot of security because they know if anything happens, they can just dial 911 and Esau will come to the rescue, right? No matter what wrong they do, right? Which I was watching, Salaki, if I'm kind of, rambling on, Salakia, right? But I'm just trying to get the point across. Which I was watching a video with the boxer Gervonta Davis, right? Which I believe that was his girlfriend. She called the police on him and said that he hit her, right? She ain't had no proof that she hit her. I guess they were saying she had some kind of mark on her face, right, on her lip or something like that. She says he hit her one time, and she had marks from two different spots, which don't make no damn sense. She basically was telling the police officers that the punch ricocheted, right, which don't make no sense. And you watching the video, the cops, these Edomite cops, right, they basically trying to, right, paint this man to be the bad guy. You had this overweight Edomite cop, he talking to Gervonta all aggressively, right? And they took this man to jail later, after a certain amount of time. I believe now, she said that she was lying, right? She basically recanted her statement and admitted that she was lying. But the point is, you don't even have to do anything, right? A woman can basically call the police and say that you assaulted her, and they taking you to jail. She ain't had no proof, right? And they just took this man to jail, and that can happen to any man, especially here in Babylon. So these women are very secure, right? They know anything happen, they call Esau, and Esau gonna protect them, right? So that's why they act the way they act. They act all masculine and manly, right? Fearing no repercussions, right? You can't be acting all aggressive, right, and thinking that people aren't gonna respond with the same energy that you are acting with, which that's exactly what happened with that woman. The same energy she was giving me, I gave it right back to her, and she couldn't handle it. She straightway went to playing the victim, right? So it says for the word at ease, it has secure, it has pride, arrogance. Yeah, so because of the security that they have, because of the comfort that they have, they become very prideful and they become very arrogant. That's a very arrogant thing to do. You as a woman, right, thinking you can just go around telling a man what to do. Don't make no sense, right? So it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Yes, so in the time of in perilous times, in the time of distress, right, we're gonna see, how these women, how they're gonna do, right? Cause a lot of women nowadays, they have the mindset that I don't need no man. Men are useless. They don't need men for anything. Okay, when society breaks down, when you can't call the police, right? When there's food shortages, barely any food, when it becomes basically survival of the fittest, right? How are you going to survive as a woman? If you a woman, and when society breaks down, right? Let's say you have food, right? What's that gonna do for you? Because a man just gonna come and take the food that you got, right? Whatever it is that you got, they can just come and take it, right? Who's gonna protect you? Who's gonna deliver you, right? And you got a lot of women that's so delusional. They think they could fight with a man, right? That's how delusional these women have become, right? They think they can protect themselves against a man, right? Society has lied to them so much that they become completely delusional, right? So in a time of distress, we're going to see, the pride, where the pride and the arrogancy of these women are, right? The pride is going to be completely gone, right? They're going to be begging a man to save them and to protect them, and to provide for them, right? In those days, they're gonna know that they actually do need men. It says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless one. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your clones, yeah, upon your loins." Yeah, so these women are gonna be in a pitiful case, right? They're not gonna know what to do, and they're gonna be looking for men to protect them and to provide for them, right, and to care for them, right? So they're gonna be humbled, right? The Heavenly Father is gonna humble a lot of these arrogant and prideful women, right? So this is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 30 chapter 31, verse 22, it says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." And we see that here today in this society, right? It's right throughout the four corners of the earth, right? But for the most part, right here in Babylon, that's trying to push out that spirit, that feminist spirit, right? I believe out there in Iran for a while they was protesting because that woman died because she didn't want to wear her hijab properly, right? And a lot of those women were protesting, right? They basically want equality, right? They say they want equality to men. They don't want to be equal to men. They want to be above men, right? And we see that here in Babylon, a lot of women are making more money than men. A lot of these women are running these households, right? Because they say a lot of the reasons that society is as bad as it is because a lot of single parent household, because these women, these children are being raised by a woman, right? Just a single mother, right? That's why it leads to deplorable lifestyle, because a woman cannot teach you discipline, right? Because majority of women aren't disciplined themselves. How's someone who lacks discipline going to teach you how to be disciplined? And even if the woman was, had a certain level of discipline, right, a certain level of order about her, she doesn't have the authority to teach her children how to be in order, especially if she has a son, right? Here it is, you trying to correct your son. He's 12, 13 years old. He's already physically stronger than you. He's already, bigger than you, taller than you, right? He's not afraid of you. Or how you gonna correct him, and how are you gonna discipline him, right? But that has a lot to do with the downfall of our society, the uplifting of the woman, right? Putting a woman in charge, right? Even two-parent households, right? The woman is in charge, which I grew up in a two-parent household, right? Yeah, even in two-parent households, the woman is telling the man what to do. She nagging the man all day, every day, right? So a lot of men have been emasculated, right? So whereas they don't even feel like men, they don't even feel like they have the right to um to run their household. Because if they do try to run their household and the woman doesn't agree, she'll start an argument, she'll start a fight, and then she'll call the police on you, right? She'll divorce you if you're married. She'll take your kids, and then you won't even get to see your kids, right? So if a man even was to try to stand up, they have all the means within their power to break up the family, right? And they have all the means to get you locked up, to basically to ruin your life, right? So we see in today's society that a woman has compassed a man, and that has led to the complete decay of society, because women support all manners of wickedness, right? Because who's the main ones that if you think about 15, 20 years ago, women were always the one supporting homosexuality, right? So-called gay men, right? Women always hanging out with them, right? Women always defending them. If you say anything to a homosexual, they always defending them, right? They always supporting it, right? Women support all manners of wicked behavior. They support promiscuity amongst women, right? Right? Any type of wickedness, women have always supported it, right? They're the main ones that support it, because a woman, it doesn't have order. A woman doesn't really support, doesn't really have a great understanding between right and wrong. She needs her father first and foremost to teach her the difference between right and wrong, right? Because you know how they have, you know, that the guy code, right? There's a guy code where there's certain parameters that you cannot pass. There's certain things as a man, right? You could say man code. There's certain things as a man you don't do, right? And all men understand this, right? Or once upon a time they did, right? But there's never been a girl code or a woman code, right? A woman, there's no line a woman cannot cross, right? So she either needs her father to show her what's right and what's wrong, and eventually then her husband to show her the difference between what's right and what's wrong, right? A woman needs guidance, right? A woman left to her own devices is going to completely destroy herself, right? So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Yeah, we have a lot of women that's ruling over our nations. Specifically, right, the blacks, Latinos, and Native American women. They've bought into this whole feminism lie, right? That men and women are equal, right? A woman could do whatever a man could do, right? So they've completely bought into the lie, right? These are the main ones that fell for this lie. And that's why the most masculine woman on the planet Earth right now is a so-called Jake woman, right? Is a Jake woman, not so-called. Is a Judite woman. That's the face. That's the face of women, of a masculine woman, right? And nowadays you can barely even run into a feminine woman, right? Especially a feminine Judite woman, right? That's few and far between, right? Because they've bought into the lie that is feminism, right? They don't want to follow what the order that the scripture says. It says the man is the head of the woman, right? Understanding their place. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." And that's why we see the that's why we see the nation of Israel in the state that it's in right now, right? A lot of these men, they were raised by women, right? Because what's the characteristics of a woman? Emotional, right? Erratic, right? Lack of discipline, lack of self-control, lack of self-restraint, lack of accountability. And that's exactly what we see with these men, right? These gang bangers, right? A lot of hood guys, right? They lack restraint, right? They can't restrain themselves. They lack accountability, right? Nothing is their fault, right? They didn't do nothing, spirit, right? Yeah, they can't take accountability for their actions, right? They can't control their emotions. They murdering people, they'll murder somebody because of what they said, right? They'll murder someone because they're angry at them or whatever the case may be, right? That's why a lot of the majority of our nation are in that spirit, because the spirit of a woman is on the majority of the men. Even the men are in the spirit of a woman, emotional, no discipline, no accountability, and different things of that nature, right? No code, right? Just do it. That's the woman, right? Being given into folly, right? They have that saying, girls just want to have fun, right? They just want to have a good time, right? And that's the spirit that a lot of the men are in, right? Because a lot of the men, they were raised by women, right? It says women rule over them. It says, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past." Yeah, that's why there's no order amongst our nation, because disorderly women are ruling over the nation for the most part, right? Because like I said, even if a father tries to run his household in the proper order, a woman will do everything to break that up. Let's say you a father and you try to discipline your child, a woman will say that's child abuse, right? They're telling you abusing your child, you don't love them, right? And eventually they're gonna take that child away from you, right? They'll argue. If you discipline a child, they'll start a whole argument with you, right? Which in turn is making your children resent you, right? Their own mother is presenting you as the bad guy, so of course they're going to think, okay, if my mom is saying he's the bad guy, he must be the bad guy. If my mom's saying him correcting me, right, him disciplining me is wrong, of course it must be wrong, right? Just basically want the child to get away with whatever they want, right? That's going to lead to that child's destruction. The scripture says, spare the rod, it spoil the child, right? Something along that fact. It says, he that spareth his rod hateth his child. Not quoting it verbatim, but something like that. If you don't discipline your children, that's not showing love, that's showing hate. A lot of women, they hate their children, right? Because they don't discipline them. It says open rebuke is better than secret love. It's better to correct your child than to pretend to be all lovey-dovey, right? And act like they didn't do nothing wrong, right? So that's the point right there, right? Women are ruling over our nation and have completely destroyed the nation. And it's not to say, and me saying that is not to say that it's all the women's fault, because the men have a lot to have a lot of blame on their shoulder, right? Because the Heavenly Father has made men physically stronger. He's made men mentally stronger, right? He's put you to be over your household, so it's your responsibility to take charge, right? And like I mentioned, right, a lot of times women can start fights, start arguments, try to get you arrested, try to take your kids away from you, but you got to do your best, right, to maintain order and to maintain discipline in your house, in your household. You have to run the household as a man. You can't give up, right? You can't lay down, right? Okay, if I say anything, she gonna do X, Y, and Z, so I'm just not gonna say anything. You got to act like a man, right? You got to take charge of your household, no matter what the consequences may be. Now, with me saying that, you have to do it in wisdom, right? You can't, go off the hinges, right? You can't go too far. You already know what the traps and the pitfalls are for you as a man in this society, in this world, right? So you can't fall for that trap, right? You're not supposed to, right? You gotta do whatever is within your power, right, to not put your hands on your woman, because at the drop of a dime, she called the police, and then you go into jail, right? She might move out. If you're not married, she might move out and file for custody. Now she says, okay, you assaulted her, or you have anger issues. Now the judge is like, oh, okay, you assaulted her, you went to jail. Now she gets primary custody of the children, if not full custody, right? So you can't fall for those pitfalls, right? So this is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10. It says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it. Yeah, the so-called black woman, the so-called Latin woman, so-called Native American woman, she is an enemy to the men of her nation, right? She's doing Esau's job better than Esau, completely destroying the children, right? Raising them to be wicked. And then the men, she completely destroys them in other ways, right? Right? Getting them locked up, getting them arrested, right? Completely destroying their lives, putting them on child support, keeping their children away from them, right? Imagine that, right? Here it is, you have children, but you can't even see them, and then a large chunk of your income is taken away from you, right? Completely destroying the men, right? She does whatever is in her power to confuse the children, right? To raise them to be complete demons. And then she does whatever is in her power to destroy the men, right? So it says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, yeah, so these women are going to be ashamed, right? They're going to be humbled. The scripture says, whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. So the Heavenly Father is going to abase a lot of these women, right? They're going to be in for a rude awakening, right? And shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the miry of the streets. Yeah, so a lot of these women, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, right? They're going to be humbled, right? They're going to want to be feminine again, right? Because soon as danger presents itself, now these women want to be all feminine, screaming, right? Looking for somebody to protect, grabbing on to some random men, right? They'll grab onto a random man's arm to try to seek protection, right? So when danger when danger is around, then women want to be feminine. Then they want a man to protect them. Then they want a man to lead them. Okay, asking you, okay, what do we do? You know, what should we do? Where should we go? Right? And you see that with a lot of these post-apocalyptic movies. Right? A woman looks for a man, and she, whatever the man tells her to do, she does it. A man says, you know, X, Y, Z, she does X, Y, Z. So the times are going to come where a lot of these women are going to be abased. Right? They're gonna know that they've bought into a lie, right? Feminism is nothing but a lie. A woman and a man are not equal, right? A woman can't do whatever a man can do, and that the man ultimately is in charge, right? So they're gonna know who truly are in charge, right? So that was the point of the lesson. You know, Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to Allah, Akim, preaching His word in truth and sincerity and in faith. Shalom.